What if our definition of purpose is too limited and too narrow? What if our ideas of purpose are too lofty and unattainable? What if our real purpose, that which would give us deep satisfaction, fulfillment, and from which we can support ourselves, is right in our daily lives, right in our current life experience? What if purpose has been with us this whole while? Hi, I'm Melvin, and on this channel, I discuss identity, creativity, and you guessed it, purpose. In this video, we'll discuss 3 misconceptions about purpose that tend to block and confuse us, and a new accessible way of looking at it that can help us starting today. I have a few videos on this topic because before I think we can work with the reality of purpose or engage with the idea of it, there are a few false notions that we have to dispel. So there will eventually be a playlist of videos around purpose. But in this one, I mainly want to introduce this new perspective that has rearranged my cells. So let's dive in. What do you think of when you think of purpose? Does it feel big? Does it feel elusive? Does it feel like I had it or I thought I had it once, but I kind of lost it or it changed or it wasn't as satisfying? Might you feel that you don't deserve to have a purpose or to know what that purpose is? Or maybe after years of hearing phrases like discover your purpose, figure out what you're here to do what you love, you're just tired of hearing it and it feels cringy and annoying. Trust me, I get it and I feel similarly in some respects. But I also think I have some helpful perspective after essentially contemplating this for like 15 years. So first, our misconceptions. Our first misconception or mistake is in how we define purpose. To engage with something, we have to have definitions of it. So for example, when I hear the word relationships, that's loaded with all kinds of assumptions, all kinds of history, all kinds of background as to what relationships mean to me. And your definition of relationships will be different. It's the same as with God. Like there are many, many different definitions and history and experience that determines how someone will define and then subsequently and as a result interact with that thing due to its definitions. So commonly with purpose, we think of it as something to attain, something to discover, something that is out there to find, like treasure. We make our first mistake in externalizing and objectifying it. Thus, we can make the pursuit of purpose an external hunt that very swiftly stops being fun because we can't find it. We don't know where it is. We don't know under which rock to look. It's like looking for our glasses while they're on our head, a truly fruitless endeavor. But we can't find purpose because it's always with us. It's indistinguishable from us, as we'll cover very shortly. Second, we think that purpose is or has to be accompanied by this transcendent state of bliss or enlightenment. We think, once I discover my purpose, everything will smooth out and I won't have these problems. I've absolutely been terribly guilty of this one, as it's been the misconception that has fueled most of that pursuit over those 15 years. Interestingly, I think there is some truth to that smoothing out aspect as it relates to purpose. But getting to that dynamic but normal state of being is thwarted by this unconscious search for enlightenment. And I hear that enlightenment is not something that you can do part-time. It's like if God doesn't tell us directly or we don't get struck by a lightning bolt, which I hear that is not very pleasant, we can easily miss out on the thing or things being reflected back to us all the time that give us clues. It's like that quote that says, you don't see the world as it is, you see the world as you are. So your world is always telling you who you are, and mine is always telling me who I am. But it's difficult to see that if you're looking for some extraordinary, enlightened discovery that screams, yes, this is your purpose. The problem with this is that regardless of our state of awareness or any temporary or persistent state of bliss, the human experience is meant to have ups and downs, ebbs and flows. We're not escaping that aspect of our experience. So once we raise purpose to this superhuman or non-human aspect, we already put it outside the realm of ordinary experience, which, as we'll see, is inherent to purpose, that ordinariness. So even the loftiest purpose or reason for being eventually becomes regular. Then on that plane of life and experience, the waves of life add the richness. Third, we often make purpose too narrow or limited or a destination that we are to arrive at. And you can see this everywhere, like in the challenge or attempt to niche down a knot. Or when you discover that you have a talent or a gift and you subsequently make that your purpose, thus narrowing it and limiting it, like saying, I'm a writer, which is not wrong, but is too narrow and too limited. This misconception shows the thinking that once I arrive at this awareness, this fixed definition of who I am and what I can offer, then I'll have it. The mistake here is that when you narrow purpose to a position, an offering, a role that you may or may not have consciously chosen, talking to you feelers and empaths, you unintentionally prune and ignore all of the different ways that purpose could express itself through you. And it's human to want certainty and categorization and clarity. We have to make our offers and sell ourselves and market our services. We have to build out our dating profiles and discover our sole reason for existing. It's an impossible task that we feel that we can't escape. And it's also futile. But you also don't need to escape or define it, because purpose is so big and it's so diverse that it eludes definition, or at least a unspecific and unindividualized definition. So although I think purpose is a big question and it can be elusive, I also think we can know it, or at least enough of it that we can live it at any given time. At every given time, honestly. So I asked before, what if purpose has been with us this whole while? I'm convinced it has. The honest, but realistically unhelpful answer is that your purpose is to be, is to exist. Like, it's right there in the name human being. But we didn't come here just to exist. No, this human experience is a journey like any other, where purpose is not the destination, it's how you travel. Purpose is not a destination, purpose is how you travel. And on a spinning rock zooming through space, we're already on the journey. So now our focus is on how we navigate it. Are we cooking? This means the way in which you are individually interested in experiencing your life. For me, I love reading, I love cycling, I love talking about purpose. All of those are states of doing or activities of doing that arise from my being, my uniquely designed being. And the treasures that I find that aren't my purpose, that I find along the way, happen because of the way in which I'm traveling. So when I am doing what I enjoy, or am even unaware that I'm doing, like analyzing information or reflecting on my experience, I am traveling as I am meant to. I am fulfilling my purpose. If you enjoy hosting, curating events, or cultivating a vibe, that is how you are navigating and traveling through your experience. It's how you relate to others, it's how you can meet with opportunity, and it's how you can get in the emotional and energetic state where your best ideas can come from. That might send you off doing something else, traveling in some other way. When purpose is a thing that we have to find or discover outside of us, or is some finite, limited definition, we discount or take for granted the endlessly generative opportunities and satisfaction that can come from being ourselves. Instead, we just figure ourselves for the job description, we refine ourselves for the relationship, we center ourselves to fit the community. We let targets or destinations alter our designs, and we ultimately never find what we're looking for. Think of it in terms of literal travel. If I am looking for purpose and I have an idea that it's on the island of Zanzibar, I am limited to or obligated to all the means of transportation I have to utilize to get from the southern United States to the island of Zanzibar. But if I don't enjoy flying and I don't love being on or over water, and I'm not entirely sure Zanzibar has what I'm looking for, I can save up, I can rearrange my life and schedule for a purpose and destination that doesn't have what I'm looking for, that I don't find out until I get to Zanzibar. After how many resources I save up, after how many self-denials, after how much convincing myself, even though I don't like planes, that like Zanzibar has it and it's worth it. It'll all be worth it once I get to Zanzibar. All while potentially missing out on consistent or at least regular satisfaction and opportunities that are a better fit for you, as well as the unique way that you could serve. Now, if I were a preacher, here's where I would ask, what is your Zanzibar? But I'm not going to do that here. Let's look at it another way, from a personal example and like a real life example. And this one is real. If I think my purpose, or the closest real life equivalent of it, is to be a chief learning officer at a company and overseeing learning and development, as I did, I will commit to working in office. I will commit to corporate politics. I will commit to the illusion of unlimited PTO and getting dinged for taking PTO. And an environment that I can't be my full technicolor self in. So once I have chosen my destination, or in this case, a position, with no consideration for how I like to travel, how I actually like to experience my life, which include working in cycles, creating for myself, singing and dancing while I work, and using my life experience as my teacher and credential and working directly and helping other people on my own time, I will absolutely end up at a destination that I hate, disillusioned about life, my pursuit, and angry and frustrated about how much time I wasted. Looking at purpose this way is important because how you travel determines where you travel. Said another way, your mode of transportation determines your road of exploration. I mentioned before that I lived in New York. And so before I moved to New York, transportation was always vehicular and kind of destination focused. And so before I got there, I had no idea that I would love cycling as much as I did, as much as I still do. Once I got on a bike though, I learned and experienced I could use my body, I could zip through the city, I could find nooks and crannies and cool things and experiences. And I could also think and process things in a way that I couldn't while in a car and go places that I couldn't while in a car. So my transportation mode, my being on a bike, gave me access in a fundamentally different experience than being in a car or traveling by foot. Once I got on a bike though, I could use my body. I could go out for a leisurely ride and think and process and work things out from work in my head. That way of traveling through my physical experience opened up new ways of thinking, new ways of being. It made me healthier and stronger and affected other areas of my life to no end. The benefit of thinking of purpose in this way is that it leads to more effortlessness, more fun. And as you navigate through life, as you do physical space, the way you travel can change. You don't have to be stuck on a bike. You don't have to be stuck in a car. You don't have to be stuck in a position. You don't have to be stuck in a role. You have the flexibility of changing your way of travel, your way of experiencing your life. And because your foundational purpose is to be, and you don't really have to worry about that so much, that being sprouts out through all of the different ways that you will travel over the course of a lifetime. Taking it back to real work, for example, let's say before you would consider yourself that your purpose is to be a writer, but under that is you really enjoy taking concepts or your imaginings and turning them in digestible, shareable form. You might really enjoy writing or one of the word platforms where you just like sending words out to people. In this frame, it's a lot easier to become a bestseller or just to simply inspire someone with your words because you're already doing something that you enjoy and you're not determining that if you write a book, you can become a bestseller and it has all these different benefits. You are less concerned about page counts and writing boot camps. It's coming from a different place. It's helping you travel to a different place. But because at the foundational or fundamental level, it's about taking mental images or concepts and sharing them, you might just as well like teaching. But if you are locked in, focused in that my purpose is only to be a writer, that might be wholly and totally outside of your awareness that you would enjoy. That would also be a valuable means of travel to all of the places that you might go and for all of the people that you might meet. I know often it can be frustrating to hear, go back to doing what you did as a kid. Think back to what you enjoyed doing as a kid. And it can be so frustrating because you don't remember, or those things for whatever reason are blocked off from you. But there are ways that you learn today. There are food and cultures that you enjoy experiencing and having today. And there are interests you have that you have not wholeheartedly explored that can hold or reveal opportunities and rendezvous you would never consider or meet with if you were trying to discover and determine them first. How you process information might indicate what information you should be processing. How you interact with people might inform who you should be interacting with. Your preferred mode of physical travel might lead you to the place where you meet the love of your life. It's in how you travel, it's in how you go about interacting with and experiencing and processing and making sense of your daily and moment by moment experience that the purpose is found in. Your being as you are, exploring and expanding how you experience life helps you travel well this journey of being. And you'll find things tailor-made for you that you could have never known existed. You get me? With my channel, I hope to retain the grandness of purpose because you are grand. But I also hope to make it accessible, obvious even. We'll continue to unpack and work this as we go, as well as some ways we've been sneakily blocking ourselves from knowing what's true for us. So this is where you subscribe. But before you go, I want to offer you some questions to consider. What do you find yourself doing all the time that isn't mandatory? It could even be the thing that you might find yourself doing when you're wasting time. Like if it's social media, like What are you watching or engaging with that provides you some sense of enjoyment, some sense of uplift? When your day is free and you're rested, so not napping or sleeping the day away, which is fine, but like not on this particular day. What are you up to? Like what's on your agenda? It's like, oh, I have a free day. What are you doing? A typical one, like if you go to the bookstore, like which area are you kind of going to first? That was like a throwaway. One that's probably not in style anymore, like what was typically the themes of your New Year's resolutions? I don't know how fruitful that one is, but it's a question to consider. Like what area, what slice or piece of life is that in? A favorite of mine. If you lived forever and time just went on and on and on, what might you enjoy doing? If, oh wow, I would do a lot of stuff, then maybe diversity is how you navigate and experience life. Maybe that's how you travel through life. And so maybe in your own life, like engaging with diversity and trying and sampling things is how you experience this whole thing. But sorry, I got distracted. If you drop the rigid definition of purpose and let go of the destination, how would you enjoy traveling? What would you be doing with your being? Let me know in the comments what you come up with. If it's not obvious, this is how I travel, or at least one of the methods of travel, by calling me. So I invite you to join me. We have so much to discuss. I have so much that I want to equip you with. But until next time, bye-bye.